All right, I want you to picture this right off the bat. Close your eyes for a second and just visualize a cinematic, high-definition, 4K heritage-style landscape. You're seeing vast, empty fields, swirling dust catching the light, and this profound, heavy silence. You just hear the sound of lost footsteps. That's Joseph. He is completely stripped of his certainty, wandering all alone at what is essentially the ultimate crossroads of destiny. And then, out of nowhere, a mysterious man appears and literally changes the course of human history. Okay, so today we're going deep. We're going to dive into this explainer and decode exactly what is happening under the hood of this seemingly simple biblical moment.
Here is our roadmap for today's explainer. We're using the ancient Pardes method to zoom way out from the literal text and get into the deepest cosmic secrets of the Zohar. We'll be covering the crossroads of destiny, Gabriel's divine routing protocol, cosmic Sephirotic engineering, the math of exile, video games and providence, and finally, unveiling the hidden covenant. Let's just get right into it.
Section 1. The Crossroads of Destiny. So we're looking at Genesis 37. The text simply says, "And a man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field." Now, on the surface, that just sounds like a lost teenager asking a local farmer for directions, right? But here's the thing about mystical mechanics. There are absolutely no random encounters. None. This is the moment of ultimate vulnerability right before a massive, hidden mechanism gets triggered. Look at this wild revelation from the Zohar. "And a man found him." This is Gabriel. Boom. We've just shifted from a literal, everyday narrative to a profound, hidden truth. This isn't some guy in a field. This is the Archangel Gabriel. But you've got to ask yourself why Gabriel, and why specifically here at this exact, precise moment of wandering. Well, to really understand why Gabriel had to show up, we have to deeply understand the state Joseph is currently in. The Hebrew word used here is toeh, which means wandering. But this isn't just taking a wrong turn on the highway. This wandering is four-dimensional. It's geographic, for sure. He is physically lost in the middle of nowhere. But it's also emotional. He is entirely displaced from his brother's love and community. It is profoundly spiritual. He's suddenly disconnected from the immediate protective aura of his father. And crucially, it is providential. He is momentarily strayed off the massive historical path he is supposed to be walking. He is totally unmoored. Section 2. Divine Routing Protocol. To truly grasp the secret of this encounter, I want you to think of Gabriel using a modern tech analogy. Think of him as a divine routing protocol. This brilliantly illustrates the algorithm of providence. Step 1. Joseph is experiencing what is essentially a spiritual 404 error. The connection to the master plan is temporarily lost. His signal is just bouncing around these empty fields. Step 2 is the intercept. Gabriel, who acts as the master network router of divine judgment and boundary, steps in. He intercepts the ping. Then, step 3, the redirect. Gabriel sends Joseph to Dothan. He patches the connection, entirely overriding Joseph's random walk and forcefully restores him to the covenantal mission path. So, Gabriel isn't just giving friendly directions, he is literally executing divine code.
Section 3. Cosmic Sephirotic engineering.
All right, now we're going to transition from tech analogies to the actual mechanics under the hood of the universe. This is where it gets incredibly deep. Notice how these archetypes map perfectly onto the Kabbalistic tree of life, the Sephirot. Gabriel embodies Gevurah, strict judgment, restriction, and boundary, pushing the narrative forward with intense, unstoppable force. Joseph represents Yesod, the righteous foundation and the vital conduit of energy. Jacob is Tiferet, the beautiful, harmonized point of balanced origin. And Egypt is Malkut, the dense, lowest kingdom, the ultimate destination. So what's actually happening here in the field is profound cosmic engineering. Gabriel, acting as Gevurah, is actively severing Joseph, who is Yesod, from his father, Tiferet. He is forcefully pushing him down into the density of Egypt, which is Malkut. And operating invisibly in the background of all this is Keter, the supreme hidden decree that planned this exact moment from the dawn of time, along with Hod, the reverberating, communicative energy of the angelic messenger himself. It's an entire cosmic engine firing at once.
Section 4. The math of exile.
Let's look at the numbers, because the math here is stunning. It all starts with the number 1. One single angelic guide, Gabriel. Think about the precision of that. It took just one precise intervention at the exact right coordinate in time and space to trigger an entire mechanism of global history. One concentrated touch of Gevurah tips the very first domino. And that single touch immediately impacts the number 12. The 12 tribes must be perfectly aligned and tested through this extreme trial. Joseph absolutely has to be subjugated by his brothers, the 12 foundations of Israel, before the grand descent into the exile can even begin. The structural integrity of those 12 is exactly what Gabriel's intervention is forging in real time. Which directly leads us to 70, the 70 souls of Jacob's family that will eventually descend into the Egyptian exile. Every single one of those 70 souls is pulled down into the massive gravity well of Malchut as a direct mathematical result of this one seemingly random encounter in the field with Gabriel. It's like a massive cosmic equation resolving itself. And this brings us to the profound colors of the Zohar. Red represents Gabriel's intense gevurah. On the surface, the angel giving directions seems helpful, right? But it is actually incredibly harsh judgment. He is actively sending Joseph to be thrown into a pit and sold into slavery. But you have to look at the white. White is the pure chesed, the absolute mercy, hidden deep inside this exile. Because by plunging Joseph into the darkness early, he ensures the ultimate survival of the entire family during the famine. The red judgment is just a wrapper for the white mercy. Section 5. Video games and providence. So let's translate this massive concept so the whole family can grab onto it. If you're explaining this to your kids, think of it as a video game. Joseph is the main hero wandering totally off the map. Gabriel is that absolutely crucial NPC, the non-playable character who spawns at the crossroads solely to give the hero the quest that snaps him back onto the main storyline, right? But for us adults, we need to elevate this to cosmic engineering. What's really happening is Yesod being sent ahead as an elite advanced force to establish dominion inside the dark, chaotic realm of Malchut. Joseph actually has to build the spiritual infrastructure down there so that the Shekinah, the divine presence itself, can eventually follow the family into exile in complete, absolute safety. It's a rescue mission disguised as a tragedy. Section 6. Unveiling the Hidden Covenant. Now we get to the ultimate question. Why did God have to orchestrate this exact, painful sequence of events? Just read this staggering quote from Zohar I 184a. Because the Holy One orchestrated all this to fulfill the decree made at the covenant between the pieces, the Brit Bein HaBaturim. Mind-blowing. God had promised Abraham centuries earlier that his descendants would be strangers in a land not their own. So Joseph's wandering wasn't a mistake or an accident. It was the absolutely required catalyst to fulfill this ancient cosmic decree. And this brilliantly illustrates the tactical, almost chess-like genius of the divine plan. The brothers had to rule over Joseph and sell him before the Egyptians ever had the chance to rule over them. The Zohar teaches a massive secret here. If Egypt had dominated Israel first, that dominance would have been permanent, eternal. But because the brothers subjugated Joseph, who then ascended to become the ruler of Egypt, it baked into the spiritual DNA that Israel would ultimately rise above their captors. Yesod establishes the bridgehead, holding the spiritual line, ensuring that when the Shekinah finally descends into the crushing darkness of exile, it is completely secure. Gabriel wasn't just giving a lost boy directions. He was securing the eternal future of an entire nation. Gabriel's intervention is such a powerful reminder. It proves that even when we feel entirely lost in the dusty, silent fields of our own lives, we might actually be standing exactly where we need to be to trigger our greatest destiny. So I want you to think about it. What random encounters in your own life were actually the universe stepping in and course-correcting your path? Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.